Here we are yet again as we go into our next team. We are already up to the 5th ranked owners team, Sultans of Soy. This team is in its second season. They took last year off. Robbie Zanstra is the owner. Was not an owner last year. Was an owner in 2016, and they made the championship. They had the second pick in the draft. They chose Lucas Miedema with their first pick. Next pick, John Enningberg. And final roster spot goes to Micah Hescott. Before I dip down to the roster, let's get into the statement. I don't know how many historians we have in this league, but I didn't do well in history, and I had to look up what the word sultan means. And the most I got out of it was an Arabic governor, king, ruler, and a lot of times back in the day, it was more dynasties, family dynasties. The one of the kids would take over, and it would continue to take over. And basically, all you had to do as a kid to take over the reign is not be an idiot. That's where I see this Sultans team. I think this team is by far among the 11 teams the best equipped to be king, to ultimately win the trophy, to win the ship. They're the sun. And all the Sultans have to do is show up and not be idiots. Make sure you get guys there each week. Make sure your score sheet's right. Make sure your lineups are correct. That's all you got to do. You have the best equipped team. So for the Sultans, don't be an idiot, and the crown is yours. Another thing I want to get into is how lucky Robbie's been. And this goes along with being the son of a sultan, so to speak, given the golden silver spoon. In 2016, we had 8 teams. He got the first overall pick, selected Caleb. This year, we had 11 teams. He got the second overall pick. Got a great two-way player in Lucas Miedema. I'm 2/3 happy with his draft picks, but the good thing is that he'll have plenty of cap to change that in the long run. I think Lucas was a absolutely amazing decision by him. Lucas was lower salary, two-way player, great passion for the game, and went to nationals last year and is striving to get better. Micah Hescott as his last pick was another phenomenal move. Very, very low salary. There's only upside to Micah Hescott, and he looks to be a bigger part of the series next year. The John Enningberg one surprised me. John has 2 games played. He was a good hitter, struggled from the mound. But the thing is, if it doesn't work out, he's got enough salary to drop him and get another player in if John doesn't show up. So Robbie really set himself up for a really good year. But like I said, the score sheet's got to be done right. People have got to show up. You got to do the stuff by the book, because you'll lose salary cap and you won't have that team by the end of the playoffs. Let's get into some numbers though. This team has only 74 career games played, second lowest only to the Diamond Dusters. The inexperience could be a factor. Lucas has only had 1 full year, Robbie a couple, Micah none, John none. Only 74 games played. That's not good. But this team has 81 combined homers in those 74 games, one of 3 teams that have more homers per game average, career-wise. Another alarming stat is this team was 18-23 combined last year, one of 4 teams with a losing record. So that was an interesting number. Second best batting team, they went 411, 863 slugging. The good stats about this team, John, Robbie, Lucas, all 3 of them hit over 400 last year. Obviously, John had a small sample. Robbie 5.0 ERA, Lucas 5.10 ERA in 20-plus innings. So they have a 1-2 punch there that's pretty good. I think Lucas is only going to get better. And when Robbie can hit the zone with fast pitch, he's phenomenal. Mike has got to improve from both the plate and the mound. But as a 4th guy, he's got plenty of time this season to get that down. And I asked him, who is safe on his team? Anybody? And he said he might make some roster moves mid-season, depending on John and Micah. He said he's heard some things about John. Didn't talk to anybody before the draft, so he's hoping John will come. If not, he'll make that move. But Lucas seems to be the only one safe. And I asked him, did you talk to Lucas before the draft? Did you know he was going to take him number 2? And he said no. But last year he was impressed with his ability to hit the faster pitch and being effective putting the ball in play. He has a solid baseball background and will pick up on the pitching quickly. He seemed excited about the league and is committed to showing up week after week. And I think that's a great signing, and I said that earlier in the show. It screwed up a lot of mock drafts. A lot of guys, I know Matt, Greg, a lot of guys wanted Lucas. Robbie signing him number 2 was a very good move. So what grade did he give himself? Gave himself a B+. I'll give him a B+. Gave himself some cap with John. If John shows up and plays well, it's win-win. He thinks he's going to go 12-8. I have him at 10-10. I asked him, I said, you were an owner in 2016, lost the team in 17, and you're bringing them back in 18. Is there anything that's different from then? Anything you like, anything you don't like? And he said things are a little bit more elaborate, more things to pay attention to. I like the direction the league is going and looking forward to this year and all the things that are happening to the league. I like the addition of players through the season gives a better chance of people showing up and having a full team. I also like to televise games and getting Leroy name out there and get some exposure. Out of all the owners, I think Robbie's probably the most quiet. He's younger. I mean, Eric and Jared are younger, but they have older brothers in the league. Robbie's the youngest owner without a connection that's older. And he's been a great addition to the league. He's a great player, great guy out there when he shows up. And I'm interested to see how he does this year. Because I usually doubted him in 2016, and a lot of people said maybe Caleb was the reason that they got there, but they still got there. And one thing that does have to change from his 2016 season to his 2018 season is, of his roster in 2016, he was 3rd in games played. 3rd in at-bats. He doesn't hold any of the records of his own team. Caleb holds all the records for his own team. Jake Van Buren played more games than Robbie did in 2016. And this year, he has got to be that leader there week in and week out. Sure, he can miss a few games here or there. He's got to make sure Lucas can lead the team when he's not there. But him and Lucas, one of them's got to be there. And Robbie's got to make sure he shows up for 90%, if not all, or as much as he can. The one thing that could benefit him is the ability to have extended rosters, and he talked about that. He could put somebody in his own place and not get penalized. He could actually not play himself and put someone in his own place, but he's got to make sure that score sheet's right. So some of the rules help him, some of the rules hurt him, but I think it'll be interesting to see if A, John comes, B, how much Micah can improve, and ultimately see if they don't get hit with any penalties, who they get for them extended players to really solidify themselves. Because I think right now Robbie has the best chance with the current roster to make a deep run. And we're going to get to see that right away. The Sultans and the Truckers. May 9, 6:15. The number 1 pick, Truckers, Jack Hilligans, versus the number 2 pick, Lucas Miedema. I don't know if Robbie will be at that game. Depends if he gets out of school on time. But Lucas will be there. Jack will be there. It's going to be a great game. And I asked him what teams he's looking at playing this year, what teams he wants to face and be a part of. And his 3 teams were as follows: the Clams, Bombers, and Sluggers. I think those 3 teams have hitting and pitching balanced and should be good matchups. And ironically, those 3 teams we haven't talked about yet. So they could be they will be in the top 4 of who we talk. So be sure to catch that game. It's going to be a great leadoff game for the year. You'll also get to see them May 23 against the Hawaiians. The next matchup will be all the way July 5. July 5 against them Squint Sugglers. And then we will see them the following week versus the Noble Narwhals. Unfortunately, this is the only team that doesn't have a Twitter account, so you cannot follow them. You cannot follow the great mind of Robbie Zanstra. But you can view their team page at leroywiffle.com. All the team pages are there, updated. Check out the franchise history of this team and all the records that Robbie doesn't have. But to finalize, the crown's waiting. It's there. You're the heir to the throne. Don't do anything stupid. We will go to our 4th place team for our next show, as we will go over the none other than Squint's Sluggers, Eric's team. Be sure to check us out next time. And be sure to keep on trucking.